big event this weekend, Crown Jewel, Saudi Arabia. We have a fun little show here. I'm hoping that maybe we get some things to shake it up a little bit. I was thinking about this. Like, I've enjoyed WWE so much more since Vince is gone lately. But I would say, if I'm being honest, I feel like I don't want to. It's not bad, but I feel like we're a little stale. Like, things we could use a shakeup on things. How do you feel about that?
So I think that the main product is a little bit stale. NXT to me continues to come through. Halloween Havoc came through both days this week. Right. I mean, this week and last week, it was fantastic. But the main roster, you're starting to get a lot of the same storylines. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for long-term storytelling, but you have to continue to keep the story fresh. We're at a point now where a lot of the stories are becoming the same over and over again. Seth Rollins' back is bad. Roman Reigns is running the bloodline. Everybody's out to get the bloodline. Let's break up the bloodline. There are some interesting aspects because LA Knight does have a chance to break through this weekend. Whether he wins the title or not, if he has the performance that we're expecting him to have, he has a great opportunity here to be that next level. And there are rumors, and I think the WWE does this on purpose. There are rumors once again to Roman Reigns wanting time off. But how much time could you possibly want off when you're only on camera once every 4 weeks and you defend once a month?
Yeah, he's got a sweet-ass schedule. It's funny because Roman takes a little bit of breaks. Not that I'm against Roman, but I think you kind of hit it, like, especially on Raw with Seth in the back. I feel like we definitely need a little more of a shakeup there at this point.
I think some of the undercard storylines, to be honest with you, are the ones that are a little bit stale.
Right.
I think that a lot of the stuff with Ricochet continues to be the same feuds over and over again, even when you don't even realize the feuds still happen. That being said, Raw came out this week and they brought in the Creed brothers, and I think that was a great win. How impressive was it to see the older Creed brother actually put him up on his shoulders and actually stand there waiting for the bomb? That was fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. They're a breath of fresh air.
There's a rumor about Crown Jewel. I don't know if you've heard it or not. But yesterday there was a little bit of disagreement whether or not Kairi Sane was added to the roster internally. It turns out she was not added early in the day, but she was added later in the day to the internal roster. And there's a lot of speculation that she's actually currently in Saudi Arabia. Also, there's speculation that Grayson Waller, who has been removed from the weekend events, is also in Saudi Arabia now.
Interesting. Well, let's kick it off with the pre-show. Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. Who's get the win? I'm going to say it's Sami Zayn for the simple fact he's in Saudi Arabia. And, we just recently got Sami on these Saudi shows. I think just from anything, just to make the aesthetics look good of this man with Syrian descent winning, I think that's about as political as you can be, right? I think we're going to get a Sami Zayn win here.
So you think we're going to go racist and give the Muslim a win? I get it. I'm going with Sami also. I'm going with Sami, though, because unfortunately, and I shouldn't say unfortunately because I love both of them, he's the bigger star right now than JD McDonough. Now, that being said, I think JD needs it more. I would love to see JD actually go over, but I'm with you. I think Sami's going to go over.
Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre.
I'm going Drew McIntyre.
No kidding.
I think Drew turns heel, does something to actually put Seth on the shelf for a little bit. By the way, that's my out on the limb prediction for the weekend.
I'm going to go with that. I'm going to actually go with Drew. I think they need to shake things up. I'd like to see Damian Priest maybe cash in, but that's the only thing. I don't see Damian cashing in then if Drew is going to win it. But we'll see. In fact, you know what? I am going to go with that. AJ, I'm changing my prediction. Seth wins. Drew loses it, beats the crap out of him. Damian Priest cashes in.
Here's another way it could go. Drew wins. Damian Priest actually cashes in on Drew McIntyre, causing Drew to completely snap on Monday. I think both of us have perhaps Damian Priest leaving the weekend with that championship.
Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler versus Zoe Stark versus Raquel Rodriguez. Ripley's not dropping the title here.
I would love to see Zoe Starks get it. I know I'm in the minority there. I just think she's such an incredible athlete. I would also love to see
That ain't happening. But yeah.
No, that's the last thing that's going to happen. My next dark horse that I would love to see, I think like myself, you are a big Shayna Baszler fan.
Sure.
I would love to see Shayna Baszler get that belt. However, I think Rhea Ripley's coming out with it.
Who's got a better chance of winning, Nia Jax or Shayna Baszler?
Unfortunately, I think Nia Jax.
I think they positioned her where they would
Son
probably.
of a bitch.
John Cena versus Solo Sikoa. Does Cena get the win here?
I don't think he does.
Okay, because they've built it up that he hasn't won in like 2,000 days, something like that, a singles match.
That's why I don't think he's getting it.
Interesting.
Plus, you need to make Solo Sikoa. Solo is actually the enforcer for the bloodline. He needs something big.
Right.
And talk about a feather in your cap. Taking out John Cena at Crown Jewel.
I'm going to go with Solo, but when we get to the end, I'll tell you why I think Cena could win. But we'll go with Solo now, too, because I think that's the smart money. Io Sky with Bayley versus Bianca Belair.
I'm going to go with Io. I think Io holds on to the belt.
I'm going to go with Io, too, and I'll tell you why. I think that little thing you mentioned about Carly Sane in the rumor, I think she's going to align herself with Io. Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest. We both said Damian Priest is going to probably cash in later. That being said, he's probably going to lose here. Because at the end of the day, this happens all the time with the Money in the Bank winners. They usually lose before they cash in. And
I think it's like 80% that they lose the same night that they actually cash in.
And it's a better story, too, because now you're going to have Cody possibly in that world title mix at some point as well, too.
Well, that's just it. You could have Cody chasing after Damian Priest.
Right, for sure.
Which is a pretty sure thing that he's going to end the story. That he's going to get a world championship if it's Cody versus Damian Priest for the world championship.
Yeah, although they keep mentioning Roman, so I feel like that's the end game.
They could do a WrestleMania match where it's Roman versus Cody and they're both world champions.
This is one that I think is interesting. I think we're going to agree on. Rey Mysterio defends the United States Championship against Logan Paul.
Guess what? You're going to get yourself a new United States champion. Logan Paul is walking out with that belt.
Logan Paul's walking out with that title. And I think the fact that people are missing this too, there's this arrangement with the WWE in Saudi Arabia. Now UFC is going to be going to Saudi or TKO. We saw boxing over there in Saudi Arabia. The Paul brothers have done business with Saudi Arabia. It all makes sense. Logan Paul is going to win that title. And by the way, we haven't heard any rumors, but don't be surprised if Jake Paul gets involved in this somehow.
Logan Paul deserves that title. Logan Paul works his ass off. For him to do the two sports like he is and still be able to perform the way he has in a WWE ring, Ray doesn't need the belt. Put it on him.
Main event, LA Knight versus Roman Reigns. Next week, we're going to be talking about the rise of LA Knight. Yeah, because LA Knight has been on fire. But AJ, is he going to capitalize here? Is this the night that he wins the WWE Championship?
If it is, it's going to be because Solo costs Roman Reigns. And that's why I'm predicting Solo to win earlier in the night.
Oh.
I think he's going to actually cost LA Knight. I think LA Knight is walking out with the title. And I think that it's going to cause more heat this time between the whole bloodline. And it's going to give Roman Reigns somebody to blame.
I hope to God you're right. I'm going to pick Roman, but
unless you're insane, how do you pick against Roman?
This is why I was saying earlier I could see Cena winning. Right? Check this out. LA Knight wins. Cena wins. Cena versus LA Knight. You put over LA Knight even bigger by having him going over against John Cena. That could even be a WrestleMania match. It's just a possibility.
But now you have him going over the two top stars, the two biggest champions in the last decade.
Absolutely. You want to get a guy over. That would be the way to do it.